Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy the Pig, back for a video. It's been a while. Apologies, I've been a little busy. Today, I am voiceovering another clip. This is a new series I want to do called 1 Year Later, where we're going to be looking at some Star Wars characters from a year ago. I got a little bit of catching up to do, but we're going to start with AGLAEA, the 3.0 character last year. How was she aged? What's changed? How good is she now? Was she good when she came out? Stuff like that. It's kind of what we're going to be going over. As you can see in the background here, I am running this team. This is the team I'm almost positive this was their best team on release. So there's a few things that I'm not very good at doing. One is Huopa still has her Nova Flare up. I think that is okay. I think that is fine. Robin is E2. Sunday is... Huopa's E1. Robin's E2S1. Sunday's E0S1. AGLAEA's E2S1. Just so we know going into this. How good is this team? It is absolutely atrocious. I'm not going to lie to you. This is probably one of the worst teams I've used in a while. Using AGLAEA, I've used AGLAEA pretty consistently over the last year. And some change. She has aged very poorly. I'm just going to get that out of the way now. I mean, I don't expect her to even, like, rerun anytime soon. And really, it's not even the team. You know, what's funny? Like the team is actually decent. Like, Robin's still decent. Sunday's still decent. Huopa's better with her Nova Flare. It's just that, like, AGLAEA herself just isn't that good, even with these buffs currently on her team. Now, we're going to get to her best in slot team. Just for clarification's sake, also, this is against the Knight in the current Anomaly Arbitration as of 3.2. This is the... I tried to pick a boss that was available to fight when AGLAEA first came out, so it is the Flame Reaver boss fight. I'm just going to let this one play out on her old team, and I'll jump back in when it is her new team. All right, so here's her new team, and I say new team, her most recent up-to-date team, I suppose. This is the one, at least on Pridwin, that is being used the most currently for, just to sort of, I get all the clears for MOC and Pure Fiction, APOC, whatever. I think that this team is a lot better for her. This is her current team now. Again, this is Don Hung E0S0. He's like my most free-to-play friendly character that I'm running consistently right now. Cyrene is E6S1, and again, Sunday and AGLAEA are the same. This team's obviously a lot better. You're gonna see in this video that it clears a lot faster. It clears much more easily, but it doesn't zero cycle, so it's still pretty, iffy on whether or not it's actually good. So I guess that's kind of it to mention with this team. I just want to put these clears out first. Maybe I can change the format. If you guys have any recommendations on how to change the formatting, let me know. But for now, it's going to be this. I will let this part play out again, and I'm going to jump back in after this clear as well. And we're going to look at AGLAEA's kit, look at maybe what aged pretty bad, look at what aged well, if anything, and just see how her teammates have aged, what her teammates in the future might look like, which I'll talk about a little bit, but we'll see those things then. For now, though, I'll just leave this for the rest of the video. I'll be right back. All right, so we're back. Let's take a look at AGLAEA. Now, for one, when she came out, let's talk about her like position in the meta. When she came out, she was like pretty good. I don't think she was like crazy. Like she wasn't so much better than the rest of the DPSs in the game at the time that it was like, oh my gosh, like it's time for a new meta. She was still good though. She was competing. I don't really think she was competing with Herta But she was up there, though. She was definitely like a tier 0 level DPS. Even I would have put her up there at the time. But to be fair, that was a year ago, so like all the characters that she was competing with, like 3.0 to 3.7 was such a huge power spike in the characters that it's like almost like it's almost hard for me to even look back at 3.0 and say with a straight face that AGLAEA was good. So let's take a look. I think the first thing I want to talk about is she good right now? No. Just straight up, she's not good. She's not like a usable character in late game content. She cannot zero cycle knights at E2. She definitely can't clear kings at E2. So, I mean, this is like a really bad character. It's a character that's in a really tough spot. I don't know what she needs. Maybe a new Nova Flare is what she needs. And let's talk about some of those things that made her age poorly. I think looking at 3.0, looking at the quality of the characters of that patch, which was just Herta and AGLAEA, AGLAEA was definitely poised to do better and ended up not mattering because Remembrance Path ended up becoming the Castress team, which is Castress, Evernight, Cyrene, Hyacinth, and that's it. That's all the Remembrance that's all the Remembrance Path is. The only other Remembrance character that came out with AGLAEA technically was RMC. Even RMC got like a pretty decent buff later in the version. But let's take a look at her kit. So, one, she's like a weird pseudo attack speed scaler. She does have a trace down here somewhere where, you know, you can see speed. Here it is, like speed, increasing attack by speed. So, like, she's a speed scaler, she's an attack scaler. That's kind of what you're looking to get with her. Obviously, she does lightning damage. And lightning damage, I will talk about this specific part in a second. But the worst aging part of her kit, after talking it over, 100% her skill. This is like the worst thing ever. This text box doesn't need to be this large. I don't understand. Like, this ended up being only a mechanic for 2 units, 2 Remembrance characters. Where it's like, you just heal it if it's already out, or if it's not out, you summon it. If you ever use an AGLAEA skill, it's either an accident or you already lost. You know, that's pretty much it. I think it is kind of ridiculous that this is like actually shipped to live. Like, her skill does absolutely nothing ever. It is never usable. It is never good. You never want to be using a skill point with AGLAEA, which is fine. You can have that. Just have it so like maybe her skill, instead of costing a skill point, does something else, right? Maybe that's what you could have done with the Remembrance Path as a whole. I mean, you do have Remembrance characters. Everyone takes a skill point, I think. Cyrene does like half the time. Castress doesn't, but then Evernight and Hyacinth do take skill points to use their abilities. So it's like you could just do that instead of whatever the hell this is. But let's keep moving. The other part, I think this is definitely the worst thing. The other part of her kit that sucks is a 350 cost ultimate, bro. Are you out of your mind? Like, if we take a look at, can we take a look? I wonder where it would be at. Let's do like HSR characters by ult cost. Let's take a look at this. Will it pop up here? Hello. Here it is, energy cost. Yeah, she's beaten only by one character, which is Saber. Saber has like an ult refund in her kit at E6 and stuff like that. So this is a little ridiculous. She did not need this high of an energy cost because her ult also only puts her in an enhanced state. Like, this is like, I don't actually understand like why this even matters. So you get put into an enhanced state, and then her basic attack becomes actually pretty good. Her basic attack is really strong. It deals AoE damage, blast damage, I guess. It's good, right? You can't use your skill again, so why even have this in the game? I don't even change it, right? So when you're out of your ult, which will matter because you can leave your ultimate. So there's just a lot of things with the ult. It's just clunky, right? It takes a ton of energy to get there. So basically you're forced to run Sunday and Hua, at least when she came out. Right now, luckily her teammates have developed to be Cyrene, who gives an ult for free. And then the Cyrene buff, which I'll go over in a minute, is also really, really good for her. You know, because energy is her main concern. AGLAEA, by far, energy is like her number one thing that she cares about the most. So teammates that give energy or give ultimates, I guess, sort of like Cyrene, that is important. That's what we're looking for when Sunday hopefully gets replaced. But his action advance, also advancing a summon, is still, he's the only one in the game that does that still. I don't know if we're going to see... Technically, I'll say Sunday does that. Technically, he's the only one that does that because it's not his skill. Robin technically does it, but it's for the whole team, and so does Cyrene. But she also advances action of the entire team, so it's a little. It's not like exactly correct, but like if you like, let's say if you're using like Sparkle, she won't advance the Garment Maker's action. Or let's say if you're using another action advancer that I can't think of. It would only action advance AGLAEA, not her Garment Maker. And her Garment Maker actually is important. You do want the Garment Maker to be attacking. So when you use your ultimate, you do get 100% action advance, right? AGLAEA enters the Supreme Stand state and immediately takes action. Here's the next thing that I hate about this ultimate. It doesn't advance the Memo Sprite at all. For some reason. Why doesn't it advance the Memo Sprite? It makes no sense to me. You want to be stacking and using this ult over and over and over again. But like I'm telling you, if you're playing AGLAEA correctly, you use your ult once and that's it. Like you don't ever want to be using it again. And I get it, at E0 it actually is really tough to not use it again, or like so lose, like sort of get out of that state, because it is tough to get energy on this character. 350 is a lot of energy, you know, especially in sort of the current meta where she's not killing enemies and getting that extra energy either. So this ult is just clunky. It feels bad. It's fun. Like I think attacking with it is really fun at E2 with a Sunday and a Cyrene and a Dan Heng. But by herself, E0 on her initial team, it was kind of dreadful to use the ult actually. And I remember feeling it because I was running E0 AGLAEA at the time. So I really started playing the game at 3.0 when she came out. And I had already had Sunday, but I didn't have Hua and I didn't have Robin because I wasn't like playing the game when they were out. And I wasn't a whale yet. You know, I only became a whale after Castros came out, and then even then it was still I was still kind of like off on the whale thing until eventually Cyrene came out, and then I started spending a ton of money on the game to try and get everybody E6, at least everybody that I cared about E6, like Blade in 2 weeks here, which I'm excited for. That's kind of my deal with AGLAEA though, right? So I ran her at E0 for a long time, and it was just terrible, man. Like I'm telling you, it was just such a dreadful experience. And I felt it because I had not summoned for Eidolons, but I did need another team. And I was like, man, you know, actually, like I think AGLAEA Eidolons are pretty good. And I'll go over that in a second because that's part of the good part. When I'll finish off with the good things that I've aged well about these characters. Her technique is really good. Automatically summoning the Memo Sprite and regenerating 30 energy is nice. This is the other thing that aged very poorly about AGLAEA's character. And I'm telling you, like, I remember this for a while. It was like a joke. Like there was at least like 4 or 5 patches in a row where the final boss of these endgames, so I'm talking like Pure Fiction 4, MOC 12, and APOC 4, I guess. It's kind of the same boss the whole time, but like they weren't Lightning Week. They were not Lightning Week, and usually like that sucks. Like I think Kafka was up twice in the span of like 3 patches. So you have like Giga Lightning Res or not Lightning Week bosses all the time. So the character felt even worse because there's nobody that's Lightning Week, and it was so annoying. It was so annoying. It's so frustrating because like I want to use AGLAEA. I think she's cool. I think her design is cool. And I think her design really holds up. I think her animations are nice. For 3.0, I think they're nice. Herta's were better for sure. But I do like the look and the aesthetic of AGLAEA's animations a little bit more than Herta's. But yeah, this like the I don't know if you guys remember this. Like I wish I could pull it up somehow. Maybe I'll figure out a way one day to pull up the patches following AGLAEA's release and just how much they hated. Dude, they did not put anyone that was Lightning Weak out for so long. And I remember it, dude, because it was like every time a new patch would come out, I'd look at the bosses and I'm like, dude, like AGLAEA's not strong here again, you know? And it was always like, oh, if they use skill point, because they were shilling the Herda at the time. And so I was like, if you use a skill point, you get extra buffs in MOC and in Pure Fiction. And she doesn't use skill points. If you use a skill point with AGLAEA, you're losing the game, like I said. So you never use skill points with AGLAEA. But let's talk about the stuff that aged well. This is still true. I think even now, well, okay, maybe before I get to the good stuff, now that I'm looking at this stuff, we should talk about this a little bit. This is a terrible trace, horrible trace. This needs, like, this part actually isn't bad for her, especially, but, like, they need another line of text. Something else. I don't care what it is, dude. Like, that's one thing for sure. Also, defense minor traces. Like, wow, dude. Like, this is, like, what are we doing? Like, this whole, like, segment here, this is terrible. This is just, this should not have released on a character. Looking back now is a little different, but, like, dude, this is terrible. Really, 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 really bad. But let's talk about why it was important and why it's good for the memo sprite. Yes. The Garment Maker to actually attack, and why her ult should have advanced the Memo Sprite's action as well. They're both in the animation anyways. E1. This is still, I think, pound for pound, the best E1 in the game. Like, E0 to E1, this is still, I think, the best. Enemy afflicted with Seam Stitch takes 15% increased damage. I mean, that's fine. That's great, but it's really after AGLAEA or Garment Maker attacks, you additionally get 20 energy. That is huge. E1, if you have her E1 by, like, alone, like, she's the only Eidolon invested character on your team and she has E1. She's never leaving that ultimate state, which is a good thing. I mean, she's not doing a whole lot in it, but you can imagine how much less she does outside of her ult state. So having her never leave her ultimate state is really, really nice. You're getting a ton of extra actions. You're getting a ton of extra damage in. And that's really good. It is really good E1. I remember getting her E1. It was probably the biggest improvement to a character I've ever felt. In a gacha game in general. It was like, whoa, like it hit me like a truck. It was whiplash a little bit. Now, currently I have her E2 for extra defense ignoring. This one didn't age as well. This one's still pretty bad. Defense ignore just became something that was really, really popular with supports. Like a lot of... There's quite a few supports, and the ones that are majorly in the game that just ignore defense for the whole team. So this one's not as important, you know, since you're going to be close to that 100% defense ignore anyways if you're playing, you know, endgame content with high investment teams. So it's not the greatest thing ever. I do wish maybe it did something else, but, I mean, it is good. Like, it's not a bad Eidolon. It's just, like, it kind of... Defense ignore got a little bit pushed to the side. As like a sub kit for sub DPS. Like Ashvale, it has defense ignore. Cypher has defense ignore, just like kind of built into their kit. So E4, really bad. Her E4 is actually really, really bad. This one is not bad though. Her E6 is good. It still is good. I don't think I've ever I won't say that. I have seen her run at E6. It's just been a while since E6 AGLAEA has been ran, because she's just kind of useless. Even if we just go to the normal knights, and then we're going to go to 0 cycles. Like, you can see, is the AGLAEA even here? She is here. And, okay, we'll talk about this in a second. So AGLAEA is here with E2 Cyrene, which we'll talk about in a minute. Because... There's something I need to mention with this, and I actually saw it in the video when I was using Don Hung's skill before I reset on the new team. So she's bad. I don't think she's good. I think I don't know what she needs. She needs Nova Flare is what she needs. But really, her kit aged pretty poorly. The only thing that aged well are the Eidolons. Like really, her Eidolons actually did age pretty well. Her E1 is really good. Her E2 is solid, and her E6 is also really good, which all E6s should be. But like having 3 Eidolons that are actually like good and make sense to summon for in today's meta is really good. I think it's really nice, and I think her Eidolons age well. Her kit did not. This has got to go. This is just too clunky. There's too much stuff going on. Make it simpler, right? Just increase the amount of damage you're doing. Don't make it a countdown thing. Just make her able to use it again for less energy. That's really how they should have done it. It's like when you're in the almost like a blade. They used to have it before they changed them. Like 350 ult, like 350 energy cost to get into the enhanced state. And then after you're in the enhanced state, it's like, what would that be? Like 175, like 175 energy, and then it just advances the action again. Like that's all it's got to be, and she would be a much better character. I think that's all you got to do. Just get rid of this. Like there shouldn't be a countdown. I don't know why there's a countdown. Hunt characters, man. Because she is a hunt character, just like, you know, with the remembrance tapestry. Let's talk about her teammates. Obviously, I already talked about Sunday. Sunday, I think, should be getting replaced pretty soon. Robin isn't on the main team anymore. Robin is still a solid character, though, especially now that she's like free. She is actually pretty good. I think, especially like E2S1, she's a very solid option on the team. Hua just got a Nova Flare, so she's actually kind of okay. She's still really bad at like the whole sustaining thing, but she is good for the energy regen that you need on the AGLAEA team. Now, her current teammates are Cyrene and Dan Heng. Obviously, I don't know if I've actually ever really talked about Dan Heng, but he's a very good support. He's tied up there in it, sort of like the S tier in my mind with it's just him and Hyacinth. They were like 1A, 1B sustained, just depending on what team you're running, really. But Cyrene is like, you know, this is the reason AGLAEA is even usable. This is the reason she's clearing any kings at all. And I guarantee you, is there a single one without Cyrene? No. And there's a reason for that. She's the main damage dealer of the team. She's doing the most on the team. This is why when you use Dan Heng's skill and AGLAEA's on the team, Dan Heng auto-targets Cyrene. She is better than AGLAEA at being a DPS character, and she's a support. It's just straight up. So I actually, is it right here? Perfect. Yeah, Ode to Romance. So when you buff AGLAEA, it's a one-time effect. When used, causes her to gain Romantic and immediately stacks Garment Maker's Memo Sprite speed talent effect to its max. This does have a little bit of synergy with the E4, but it's not, like, the one extra stack doesn't really matter. After her or Garment Maker uses an attack, consumes it, and regenerates 70 energy. That right there, automatically, like, I am telling you, that alone would make it usable and make her have it's such a good buff to have on AGLAEA that it's actually like if you're not running Cyrene on the current team, you're just not running the character. It feels that different. It's that much better. You also get this 36% defense ignore, and you also get 72% extra damage. It's really good. It's really good. That's just it. Like, you only get one of that 70 energy, but the fact that you get it at all is really good. And then this lasts until the first time she exits Supreme Stance. So you can never get this back, which is a little bad, because you're going to get that 70 energy once, and then you want to just be in the ult state the whole time, which is why I said her E1 is kind of necessary at the bare minimum, dude. E1 is the bare minimum for this character, so you never leave that ult state. I'm telling you, it's important. Other than that, though, that's kind of AGLAEA's current state. She's really bad. Her new team is good, but only because like Dan Heng and Cyrene are leagues better than her at clearing content. So you can clear content with them on the team by proxy, right? But you see this a lot where like Cyrene's just kind of on teams because she's that good. But yeah, that's probably it for her. Now I would say with AGLAEA, because we're gonna get into, like, I'll be posting My Day and Tribby soonish, like their 1 year later video. AGLAEA has aged a little bit better than My Day, I think so, and a little bit better than some of the other. Actually, I don't know. Out of all the Chrysos errors, I think she actually aged pretty well. She's in the upper echelon of aged Chrysos air characters, to say the least. But we'll go over all of them one at a time. I'll be stopping at Anoxus, and it'll be 3.2. Once 3.3 drops, we'll do Hyacinth and Cypher. Or Cypher? Hyacinth and Cypher? I think it was Hyacinth and Cypher. I could be wrong, but we'll go over those two. But yeah, that's AGLAEA 1 year later, man. It's really bad. She's still bad. Like I said, like she aged better out of the Chrysosairs, better than most of the Chrysosairs, but she's still bad. I still wouldn't summon for her. Like if she came out tomorrow as a summon, don't summon for her. That's what I'll say to her. Just don't summon for the character right now. And yeah, so that's it. Thanks, guys.